Hi, I'm Lloyd Williams, and I'd like to take you on a tour of my hometown, Cottage Grove, one of the most scenic and interesting places I think you'll find anywhere. Cottage Grove is located in the middle of western Oregon, 20 miles south of Eugene. Cottage Grove is a medium-sized town that a little over 7,000 of us call home. Our timber economy has left us a little short of jobs, but the people are friendly and the weather is mild. Did you know that we only have a couple of weeks of hot weather in the summer? And usually, only a few weeks are really cold in the winter. It's rare for us to have more than a few inches of snow in the winter. Our rainfall is about 47 inches. Like any small town, we have seasonal activities, such as the rodeo and carnival, where you're likely to see the Boer family band from Yoncalla, or the Limeti gang acting out a western shootout. Also, we have the annual Bohemia Mining Days celebration and parade with the Prospectors' Breakfast up in the Bohemia Mountains, the site of a mining town that flourished during the gold rush years between the 1860s and the 1920s. During this time, $9 million worth of gold was taken out of them thar hills. Just think what all that gold would be worth at today's prices. The Bohemia Mining District is about 25 miles southeast of Cottage Grove, and if you visit the area, remember many of the mines are privately owned and they're still being worked. The Forest Service will show you where you can pan for gold. To find the old town, just follow the signs marked Music Mine. You take Sharps Creek Road up and Champion Creek Road coming back. If you stay on the main road, you'll have to come down a narrow gravel road with a 1,000-foot drop-off on one side, which is pretty scary for tenderfoots. While you're in the mining area, you might want to check with the Forest Service to see about directions to the scenic Bryce Creek Trail. This trail runs along the creek near where the miners travel to the mines and ends near Champion Creek. By car, you can see many of the rapids from the road across the river from the trail. If you want to fish, camp, or picnic, there's plenty of opportunities. And you might even run across Inch Creek, which in the summer is little more than a dribble of water, about an inch deep. Next, you may want to go down to Diston and take a right turn up to Regeda Camping Area. A little ways away, up the June Mountain Road, you can hunt fossils in the Regeda fossil beds. The area is so pristine that Cottage Grove's water supply is piped down from here. If you enjoy waterfalls, you'll have to take the half-mile trail that goes to Spirit Falls. The waterfall's 60 feet, and the trail's a little steep, the sign's a little hard to find, but it's worth the effort. 4 miles farther up the road, you come to a 3/4 mile trail that leads to Moon Falls. This trail is longer, but it's easier to walk because it's not so steep. You'll have to get directions to find the waterfall, though, as once again, the signs are small and they're a little hard to find. This waterfall is most spectacular, dropping 125 feet into this lush forest. Just bring your picnic lunch and enjoy. If you took the road back to Cottage Grove, Lower Bryce Creek Road will take you to Wildwood Falls, another real nice picnic spot. A few miles farther down the road is where Susan Dunham lives. Give her a little time and she can make most any type of doll.
This is a sculpture I made of Kathy Middaugh. Kathy Middaugh is the daughter of Charlotte Williams, who works here as a seamstress. She's worked here for more than 10 years and creates lovely doll clothes. This is little Lucy Lockett. She's lost her pocket and she's very upset. So as you can see, she's pretty sad. But she has German glass eyes. They're hand-blown. They're imported from Germany. And they're really quite wonderful, an artwork in itself. And the Angora Goat comes from up around the Salem area. This is a really a difficult one to sew. And Charlotte has sewed this, and with all these insertion of French laces and entre-deux, and she has made this complicated little French outfit out of silk and French lace for this original doll, and her name is Taffy.
The last town you come to along this road is Dorena. Originally located where Dorena Lake is today, the town has been relocated to its present location. Two women named Dora and Rena provided the town with its unusual name, Dorena. Along with Cottage Grove Dam, these lakes provide flood control on the Row River and the Coast Fork of the Willamette River, and are favorite places for area residents for boating, sailing, swimming, and fishing. An enjoyable place to spend the weekend or any time. Just before you get back to town, you'll see this pretty spot right at a sharp turn on the road. Now, after that little side trip, let's meet some of Cottage Grove's interesting people. You can tell just by looking at the house and yard that Harold Tapp is a very talented person. Harold makes these pictures out of small pieces of colored rocks.
Now you've made that from all rocks, huh?
Solid rock.
And you just cut them up to, and then inlay them like people do the inlaid.
Glue them on glass.
Oh.
They're about 3/16 thick, and there's a slab of glass about 3/16 thick that I glue it on. And they're not polished. The rock isn't polished, but you put the resin on, and that brings the color out good, and all the mistakes.
I don't see any mistakes.
I always wanted a grandfather cloth, so since I was working on them, I made this out of a mantle cloth.
Okay, anytime.
I made skinhead out of the wooden parts of the piano action. The arms and legs are on pivots, and there's control wires up through the seat that he sits on to make him work. The head is made from dolls that Susan Dunham makes, and she gave me the hair to put on.
also built several of these old pianos. Of the 3 around town, one of them can be seen and played at Bill Pettigrew's Sears store.
My wife and I have recently purchased the Sears catalog store from Merle and Becky Walter. We moved here from Southern California, and we owned a flower shop there. And we liked being in business for ourselves, so we started looking around Cottage Grove, and we bought the Sears store from Merle and Becky, and we took it over on February 1st of this year. And we really like Cottage Grove. I think it's a beautiful area. I like the small town concept. I've always wanted to live in a small town. Those of you who have lived in the Los Angeles area know what a nightmare it is. And that's my son-in-law back there working behind the counter.
This old portable organ was used by circuit rider preachers years ago. After considerable fabrication, this is how it looks and sounds today.
Okay, organ player.
Some people, such as Ed Tift, only come to visit and then decide to move here.
My name is Ed Tift. I've been in Cottage Grove for a little less than a year. Prior to that time, I was what they call a full-timer on the highway. To those of you that don't know what it is, it's someone that lives in a travel trailer and goes south in the winter and north in the summer. And we did that for 10 years. And about 7 years ago, during our travels, we found Cottage Grove. I, being an elk, stopped at the Elks Lodge one night and going to stay overnight, and liked it so much that we decided to stay for 3 nights. And looking over Cottage Grove, we decided we liked it. In the meantime, we had a very disastrous fire that destroyed our home on wheels. And we decided then that it was time to get off the road, and my wife said, well, where are we going to stay? And I said, well, I don't know. She said, well, what's the matter with Cottage Grove? We've always liked it. And I said, sounds good to me. So we took insurance money and bought our home here in Cottage Grove. And since that time, we found out that we very much made the right selection. The merchants in Cottage Grove are so nice. They bend over backwards trying to help you, which is very helpful to us since we had to replace everything in the world that we lost in the fire. And we felt now that we've sure made the right selection in choosing Cottage Grove.
Tom and Dot's Round to It gift shop is our next stop.
I'm Dot at the Round to It gift shop, and in one of our historic buildings. Our round building was built in 1924 as a home. Ripley's featured it in their articles in 1932. And it was built as a home right from the beginning. We moved our building to Gateway 5 years ago. And we have a lot of tourists stop by day after day looking for what to do or what is of interest. Also, many times asking about how to get to the mines. Which we have maps showing about the mines. If you're wanting more information, stop by.
Be sure to visit the Chamber of Commerce and pick up lots of information.
Hi, I'm Becky Smith. I'm the manager of the Chamber of Commerce in Cottage Grove, and we would like to welcome you here. A visitor who comes to our office will find lots of information about Cottage Grove. They'll find maps, and we're able to give directions to points of interest and to different services they might need. We also have visitor information for the entire state and for regional travelers and people traveling en route to other places. In addition to our visitor services, we have information about business in Cottage Grove. People who stop by our office are usually looking for services in addition to just visitor information, and we have directories that will help them find accommodations, restaurants, and traveler services such as recreational vehicle repairs and things like that. One of the things that people ask about when they visit our office is they ask about our covered bridges. We have advertised, and we are the covered bridge capital of Oregon, and we will provide you with a self-guided tour of our bridges. There's 6 bridges that you can visit in the Cottage Grove area. 2 of them are right downtown, and 4 of them are on a loop around Dorena Lake, which only takes about 45 minutes.
We have mostly older homes in town, especially on the west side, and the newer homes are generally in the foothills at the edge of town. One of the older places has been converted into a bed and breakfast.
Yeah, what I know of the house, and what we know of the house, is that it was built, started being built in 1891. It took them approximately 2 years to build it, and did a lot of the ornate woodwork around the casings with a treadle leg, and the stairway also really neat, pretty spiral things on the staircase are also done with the treadle leg. The house has had some changes in it. The Woodards at one time owned it.
If you take a short trip north of town on Old Highway 99, you'll come to the small town of Saginaw and this quaint old church at Walker. If you were to take the freeway north to near the Saginaw exit, you might see a herd of elk that enjoy grazing occasionally on the east side of I-5.
Hello, I'm Marcia Allen, president of the Cottage Grove Historical Society. The first store in the town of Cottage Grove was opened by Charles Samuels in 1857, and in 1857 a sawmill was also built by Harvey Hazelton. These were located on the west side of the Coast Fork in what was known then as Slabtown. The little settlement of Slabtown on the west side of the Coast Fork was named Slabtown because of the lumber that was used under the wheels of the wagons to keep the wagon wheels from miring down in the mud in the wintertime, and also down the sidewalks to keep the long skirts from dragging in the mud. Slabtown was on the west side of the river, and until the railroad came through in the early 1870s, business pretty much was on the west side of the river. At the time of the railroad, businesses built along a strip which later became Main Street, which was unpaved for many years.
The east side was first called Limitai. A post office in a small grove of trees just west of Cresswell was later moved here and brought us the name Cottage Grove. 6 years after the first resident came to Cottage Grove, a church was established. The early pioneers were concerned about saving the souls of their children. Today we still have 37 churches. Whatever you like, whether it be the beach, the mountains, the forests, the streams, they're all nearby. And you're welcome. Come visit us.